Hello, welcome to Career 101. I'm Matthew. Thanks for joining me. In Career 101, we break down all the elements in a very simple way to finding a job, your titles and roles you might come across, and industries, and what are they all about? What do they mean? How do I know if that's the right fit for me? So in this section, we're going to talk about networking. Networking. No, you might be saying, don't worry. I'm going to break it down. It's actually a lot simpler than you think. And even if you're an introvert, you're going to do okay. So here we go. Let me share my screen as I always do. One day I'll get maybe more techie about this, but I'm still a simple person here. So here we go. Networking. Do I have to? Yes, you do. So why? Because networking is a way to make connections and find mentors. By knowing more people, you're going to increase your chances of making the right connection that might get you to the right job for you. You don't just want any job, you want the right job for you. And if you know more people, that's going to give you a connection to more opportunities. And is also a great way to learn. One thing in life that I have found is that when I talk to people who have had a different experience to me, whether that's in work or in life or some other thing, I learn and my own perspective is opened up. So networking is important for all these reasons. So how do I actually do it? How do you go out and network? Well, there's lots of different levels to it, and some are quite easy. Start with talking to people you know. People from your family, friends, your friends' parents, maybe professors. You have this collection of people that you actually know. Those people know other people. So it might be that your first step in networking is you talk with one of your parents' friends who's in an industry or have a role that you might find interesting. That is networking. Hey, easier than you thought. And once you do that, you might say, hey, is there anyone else you would suggest I talk with who might help me with this? Another level is to go out to a conference or a presentation. This might be a scarier level if you're an introvert, but it's actually okay. Just set a goal. Maybe your first goal is, I'm going to go to this conference and I'm just going to watch and listen and look around and learn from the speaker and just get a sense for how people mingle around. And chances are many of these conferences are free or at least discounted to students. So you can be less worried about the money if you're stretched and you're a student, things like that. Another level of being at that conference might be you say, I'm going to go talk with 1 or 2 or 5 people today. And you might, if you're a little bit shy, you might have a question or two in your back pocket and a kind of entry line. Hi, my name is Jane, and I'm a student at University of XYZ, and I'm interested in learning more about this industry. Why are you here? So that person might be there because they are also in that industry or want to get in or something like that. Just start small. Another level might be a cold email or a call. So this is someone you don't have any sort of connection with, that you're going to reach out to cold and see if they're willing to talk with you or start a dialogue with you. And there's different ways to do this. If you're going to do this, I would recommend you do some research on the person. So let's say you have come across this person because someone said, oh, you saw them in an article or something like that. Hop on LinkedIn, hop on the person's company's website. LinkedIn has a tremendous amount of information. You can pivot in a lot of different areas. You can say, here's this company. You click on the company, it's going to list a lot of people who work there or have worked there. Sometimes someone who has worked there in the past might give you more candid feedback on that company. If you pivot off a geography and where the person lives now, and then also university background. You might find, hey, there's a number of people that went to your university where you're at, or your high school, or live in your area, that you might say, I'm going to go talk with these people and I'm going to contact them cold. I list the FedEx technique because one way to distinguish yourself from an email is to actually FedEx your resume and maybe a cover letter that talks about you. And in another session that I'd recommend, I talk about creating a resume and the important elements to that, and cover letters. So FedEx, you could do it. You could even hand drop something off in a nice envelope, handwritten on the top, that has your resume and what you're trying to accomplish to a given person. And don't always just go for the CEO. You can also say, hey, I'm interested in this sort of thing within a company. Let's say you're interested in a real estate company in that industry, and you're particularly the construction side. Figure out your way to who heads construction and have it addressed to that. It's amazing how much information you can find in the About Us section of any company website. And I'd say be patient, try again. You never know what the person on the other side is dealing with. They might have a company crisis, or an exciting new project they're working on, or some personal things going on. They may not have a whole lot of time when you contact them. So be patient, try again. If they haven't got back to you, try again in a couple of weeks, and then try again a couple of weeks later. If they shined you off, 3 or 4 times, okay, it's probably not going to happen. But have a goal and a story. It's less effective to come to someone and say, hey, I see you've been really successful. Can I meet with you? Have your perspective on and your goals. I'm a student at XYZ University. I'm considering this industry or this career. I would appreciate meeting with you and asking you some questions and learning about your journey to get to where you are now. You've obviously been very successful. Asking people to talk about themselves is a pretty easy way to get them comfortable as well. And then have some specific questions. An easy question is, can you tell me about how you got to where you are today? Was it something you planned from the beginning, or was it more of a winding journey? It might be, hey, I've been particularly interested in these subjects, and I'm thinking a career in this industry might be a good fit. What do you think? Have a handful of, you should be able to come up with 5 or 6 or 7 questions that you've got in your back pocket. And remember, being a student is a golden ticket, in that people are pretty likely to be willing to help a student in their journey and in connecting with them. So utilize that, don't waste that. If you're no longer a student, that's okay too, but leverage the fact that you're a student to try to get some connections and introductions. So that's the session. I hope it's been helpful. I hope you've learned something. Other sessions I'd recommend you check out from here might be around the session on the importance of mentors, and also in writing a resume. So hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've gotten some things out of it. If you've liked my video, please click the like button, and good luck in your journey.